Well, I guess I'm in agreement with, I think, what the majority of councils has said, and I'm also in agreement with Mr. Beaton as well. The $275,000 is an awful lot of money to spend. However, I look at this as a potential. I mean, this is a major intersection in our city, and this issue has the capacity, I think, to cripple our community from a transportation standpoint. I mean, this has been coined as an emergency situation, and I look at this as a business person. I don't think we have a strong negotiation position right now. It's unfortunate, and we did, by the way, we did have the road commission in here a month ago to really talk about the issue and talk about what our options were. And I didn't feel that we were at a point where we can step back and start throwing around our wants. So it's a difficult situation, but public safety is at stake, our community, and the well-being of our residents. And that intersection, the Memorial Park and all of those things are valuable to this community, but 40,000 residents traveling through that intersection is valuable as well, and that just speaks with just the facts of how it's used. So I'm in favor of the motion as well, and it's a difficult position, but I want to get moving forward on it as soon as possible. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rosen.
Thank you.
You have your mic on?
I'm sorry. Thank you, Mike. It's not only about the money on the design. I suspect. I think the coordination of the two bridges, the hydraulics, and the intersection. As I think about it, I want it all done by one bunch at one time to get it done right. And I have a feeling, now that we've all recognized, oh yes, and then there's Memorial Point and this and the other thing, I think our leverage improves with the design group, road commission, and I think we can, since we have if we do have skin in the game in the form of $270K, I think we really will get a say. It may not be everything we want, but it'll probably be most of what we want. And I have been really thinking about this. I understand the whole process of narrowing the allowable bridge lanes to the ones that aren't damaged so as not to further deteriorate the other damaged beams, so as not to end up in a situation where, well, as well as the weight, where we are in a dangerous or collapsing or we have to close it situation. Interestingly enough, a lot of people have been catching on, and they're not going that way now. And I think that's a good thing. I don't think it's fear. I think it's fear of congestion. So that may work to our advantage, that we'll get through this with a lesser potential. The one comment you made earlier, I want to really zero in on, and I'm not sure if it was the mayor or Mr. Davis that said it, about, I guess Tom Bless said, this is the approach they take with many cities that want to accelerate projects. Any idea how often that happens? I mean, is it one a year, or, it's not unusual for people to do this, so it's one or two a year kind of thing? Either.
I don't know the answer to that, but I know that he said that it is their past practice that whenever a community does this, this is what they've done. I don't know. I didn't pursue that with how many is that, but he said our past practices, that's why we're not going to do anything different, is that whenever a community moves it forward at their request, this is how we move forward.
That relieves my mind a lot, and I'll tell you why. It's not a precedent. I understand the idea that it might be viewed as one, but I hate to be terribly cynical, but it's a legal bribe. I mean, it's basically we're kicking in our punch to get our oar in the water, so we get a say in when it happens and a bigger say in how it happens. And in this case, I think it makes good sense. I've finally come to the conclusion tonight that I think it really does make good sense, and we will be well rewarded, I believe. So as long as everybody keeps at them about the design and the pathways and Memorial Point Park, I think we'll be all right. I think a couple of years maybe we'll be able to have a nice little celebration there. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Burnett.
Thanks. A celebration would be nice down there. No, I heard the words of the council, and obviously going in a way certainly that I sounds like would support. The one thing I just want to say, because the conversation got a little sideways there, and I just want to make sure this is clear for people watching or paying attention, that nothing that we're doing here has anything to do with a roundabout at that intersection. I mean, we've gotten some really crazy ideas that residents have submitted, figure 8 intersections, roundabouts. We had a resident suggest that we contact Matty Maroon to see if he would pay for our bridge. And we've had, I mean, with respect to the, I mean, we've had a lot of interesting, crazy ideas because people are interested in it. And, you know, we're not turning away any ideas. In fact, I called that gentleman back and said, if you know him, get me a meeting with him because I'll meet with him. And that's a true story. But I just don't want anyone to think out there that there's, you know, we're not preparing for a roundabout. There's not designs for a roundabout. I mean, ultimately, someday we may consider, but nothing that we're doing now with either of these bridges has anything to do with a roundabout at that intersection.